Hello and welcome. This video is being produced as a partial fulfillment for the Environmental Impact Assessment course, highlighting a mixture of human and natural landscape elements and interactions within the Brownsberg Nature Park. So what do we know about the Brownsberg Nature Park? Well, it's located in the eastern part of Suriname and falls within the district of Brokopondo. It has an area of more than 14,000 hectares and is a very biodiversity rich area. It consists of a diversity of natural habitats, steep slopes functioning as wildlife refuges. We have many rare and endemic species to the Guyana Shield within the Brownsberg Nature Park. We have intense plant-animal seasonal interactions as well. The BNP consists of a multitude of habitats, ranging from low, high, mountain, and submontane forests. With regards to species, rich literature exists on plant species. More than 100 mammal species have been recorded for Brownsberg. A total of 387 bird species have been recorded, as well as more than 80 species and 64 species for reptiles and amphibians have been recorded respectively. So why are we as humans so attracted to the BNP? I'll tell you. It has become very famous for its recreation and birdwatching, its unique habitat, its flora and fauna including endemics, and it also serves as a nature education and scientific research facility. With regards to describing the environment in terms of abiotic and biotic interactions, we will be focusing on three main components, namely the physical, the biotic, and the social and cultural components of the Brownsberg Nature Park. Focusing on the forest energy nutrient flow subsystem within the Brownsberg Nature Park, of course, a model is developed which describes the relationships and interactions among biotic, abiotic, and anthropogenic components. The conceptual model is developed using three main components of the trophic subsystem structure, namely the producer subsystem, the consumer subsystem, and the mineralizer subsystem. The hierarchical view allows us to begin focusing on the broadest picture of the BNP area and then allows us to zoom in on the specific details of our interest. Seems a little complex? Not to worry. I'll explain. When analyzing the trophic structure of the forest energy nutrient flow subsystem, the following classification can be made, namely the producer subsystem, the consumer subsystem, and the mineralizer subsystem. These subsystems will be discussed further within this video. But what are used as energy sources? Well, first off, we have solar energy, responsible for photosynthesis and the regulation of climate, namely temperature. Second off, we have wind energy, also responsible for climate regulation and dispersal of food and oxygen. Thirdly, we have the creeks, streams, and surface runoffs, dispersing nutrients, flowing water, carrying detritus, containing oxygen, and transporting aquatic species. Zooming in on energy flows and controlling processes inside a producer subsystem is as follows. The input is through synthesis by either photoautotrophs or chemoautotrophs, and the output includes predation, respiration, and natural death. The producers gain energy and biomass from light and nutrients and loses biomass through natural death or by being eaten by consumers. The producers are also affected by the temperature and salinity of the surrounding water. Consumers are animals that cannot synthesize inorganic matter into organic matter. They can be classified as herbivores or carnivores. So zooming in on the energy flows and controlling processes inside a subsystem of a consumer is as follows. The consumer must first assimilate prey item, then respire to gain energy from the ingested tissue. Both assimilation and respiration are dependent on the temperature and salinity of the environment. Consumers can lose biomass and energy when they excrete organic material, die, or are eaten by larger consumers. Biomass can also be transferred from one ecosystem to another if consumers migrate. The process of mineralization is important in transforming organic matter in an ecosystem because mineralizers decompose and reduce the organic matter back into nutrients. Zooming in on energy flows and controlling processes inside the subsystem of a mineralizer yields the following. Nutrients that are produced by anaerobes include ammonia, nitrous oxide, nitrogen, etc. The breakdown of organic matter provides a pathway for buried energy to be recycled into the ecosystem. All of the mineralizers can produce carbon dioxide as a byproduct of their activities as well as certain nutrients such as ammonium that can be recycled back into the ecosystem. Focusing on the energy subsystem within the BNP, what are the effects of human interactions with the biophysical environment? What is it about this place that draws people here? How do people use and derive benefits, ecosystem goods and services from this place? How do they affect it? How are these goods and services produced? And how is it made available for a human? Does it provide aesthetic and spiritual values? The physical components, roads, tourism, recreation, birdwatching, research and monitoring, park management, utility services, restaurant facilities, lodging facilities, solid and liquid, waste generation, and sadly, illegal gold mining are all the activities taking place in the physical sphere of the BNP. What are the effects? Let's have a look. Expanding on roads and trails? Well, most important for the accessibility are roads and trails, leading to the parks, the hikes, waterfalls, birdwatching, and sightseeing. Also, research and monitoring sites, lodging facilities, utility maintenance sites, and yes, unfortunately, to illegal gold mining pits. So what are the interaction effects of these roads? Well, in order to create and maintain roads, deforestation is needed, leading to habitat fragmentation, loss of species richness, loss of species diversity, and loss of tree species. During rainy seasons, these roads on slopes lead to increased runoff and sedimentation. We have higher biodiversity disturbance levels and also disruption effects on producer, consumer, and mineralizer subsystems. Zooming in on tourism, recreation, birdwatching, restaurant, lodging facilities, and utilities facilities. One of the main attractions to the Brownsberg Nature Park is its aesthetic nature it provides. Biodiverse rich areas, endemics, exotic birds, relaxing views, waterfalls, and creeks for swimming, even as nature trails and hikes. So what are the interaction effects? Well, human and physical mental recreation is one of the important ones. In addition, the same effects as before. In addition, we have domestic waste generation, air noise pollution, groundwater surface runoff pollution, sedimentation, increased risk of pathogens, malaria, and other types of diseases. We also have then disruption effects on producer, consumer, and mineralizer subsystems. Another human factor is the wildlife research and monitoring. including the park management. The Brownsberg Nature Park is used as a research and monitoring location because of its biodiverse rich character. It provides scientists and researchers with deeper understanding of the existing ecological processes. And what are the interaction effects of these types of activities? Well, for environmental conscious and responsible humans, interaction effects are minimal to maybe even zero to the environment of the Brownsberg Nature Park. That will be less. Zooming into the worst, illegal artisanal and small-scale gold mining, leading to pollution, waste generation, and drastic environmental damage. Land clearing, forest destruction, hydraulic erosion, extremely high mercury levels, reduced fish diversity in downstreams, impacts of human on wildlife health through mercury poisoning have chronic and genetic impact, disruption of the food chain, energy and nutrient flow, loss of species predation, and seed dispersal at the Brownsberg Nature Park. Hi again, this is Vishal. We've gone much farther back at the Leo Falls and I have no words. It's just destruction of everything we're learning to conserve. Ecosystems, biodiversity, you name it. Gold, the rush, destroying everything. With the helps of my colleagues, please have a look. Yes, this was previously an area which could not be easily reached, but it has been. Gold miners blasting through everything, cutting off trees and destroying everything. Outweighing the aesthetic and spiritual effects, the impacts on primary production, wildlife habitat, erosion control, climate regulation, water purification and nutrient cycling, and carbon sequestration are the main disastrous effects on the ecosystem goods and services at the BNP. In order to conserve our beloved BNP, there have been several undertakings by the government, such as clean sweeps, registration of gold miners, and even collaboration with gold miners. However, with no overall success, as a result of the lack of comprehensive and sustainable management practices. But not all hope is lost. Incorporating a multidisciplinary approach from the government is fundamental in achieving conservation measures at the BNP. Implementation of stricter mining environmental laws are a fundamental requirement. Establishment of partnership between large-scale mining companies and small-scale miners can bring benefits to both. Also, the extension of the existing buffer zone of the BNP can lead to less conflict between the government and gold miners. From NGOs and community considerations, increasement of knowledge, promotion of land reclamation, training on environmental effects of illegal gold mining are some of the main aspects which can be covered to promote and conserve the Brownsberg Nature Park. I thank you for watching, and I now hope you have a better understanding of the complex interactions of the human biophysical environment of the Brownsberg Nature Park. Please help conserve our environment. Bye-bye.